Hey everyone, welcome back to the Mark Loeffler Experience. We got another great show here for you today. We're going to be talking about the pros and the cons between doing a BRRRR, buy, reno, refinance, rent, and redo, and doing a flip. Guys and gals, if you like this channel, please subscribe down below. We're 892 subscribers this morning. If you find value out of this, please share this in any groups you're on in social media. And we definitely need you to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. Comment down below, what are you doing? Are you doing BRRRRs? Are you doing flips? Are you doing a combination of the two? Let me know you were here. Thanks everybody. Enjoy the video. This is going to come from the perspective of where I live, which is Ontario, Canada, and the taxes and rules around everything around that, okay? So let's get into it. So we're going to use a $500,000 property in anywhere in Ontario, and so 500,000. All right, and I know we've ran through the numbers, so I'm going to do this super quick. Let's say it's an $80,000 renovation. 80,000. So that gets us in for 580,000, right? So I mean, the flip is super simple. You know, let's say the property is worth about 680 after, so you have $100,000 in equity. So you have some sales costs, obviously. You're probably paying about, you're probably paying about $40,000 to sell that property, right? Give or take. So that leaves you with $60,000 in which you go ahead and you pay your taxes on there. So if you're flipping, you're probably doing it in a corporation here. Your tax is going to be right around, let's just say 25%. So that leaves you with $45,000. So you flip the property, you sell it, and you probably make about $45,000 within the time frame allotted. So now on the BRRRR side, it's worth 680. You have 580 into it. Now guys, again, if you guys want to watch numbers on BRRRR or anything else, I'll link the BRRRR video to this. So if you haven't watched that yet, go back and watch that and you'll understand where all these numbers are coming from, okay? So this is just the pros and cons between a BRRRR and a flip. So for the BRRRR, now I have 680. So I'm going to refinance that and I'll get 20% of that. So what's that, about 500 and let's call it 550,000, okay? I know it's a little less than that, maybe we'll say 545. Okay, 545,000. So that leaves us with $35,000 in the property. Yet we obviously still own the property, and I own a $680,000 property with $35,000 into it. Now, when I go ahead and do this and I'm holding it, I get the benefits of holding a property. So let's just talk 2020 numbers. If I had done this a year ago, most areas that I'd be doing this in are up anywhere from 10 to 15%. Year over year real estate prices. With that, I'd be making, let's just say 10%. So 10% of 680 would be almost $70,000. So I'd be 200% on my money. Plus I'd be renting it. Renters would be paying down my mortgage. Even if I had zero cash flow, they're still probably paying that mortgage down, you know, $10,000 to $15,000 in the first year. So my profit is $85,000. Now, I guess the pros and cons. So a pro of a BRRRR is that I still own a property. I am renting it. Somebody's paying down the mortgage for me. I'm getting the appreciation. I'm working smarter, in my opinion, where I'm just to keep acquiring assets to be able to go and keep purchasing and be able to keep buying. And, you know, typically though, I guess one of the cons is you're going to have to bring in partners if you want to grow this. Like if you look at like a Mandy Branham or like a Liz Kelly, I mean, this is what they do a lot of. And yet they're bringing in partners, right? Quentin D'Souza, same thing. They're all bringing in partners to be able to do this and to be able to grow. Because, I mean, obviously the numbers make a heck of a lot of sense. I mean, you're making 200% on your money in 6 months and then another 200% on that money in the next year or so, right? And so, I mean, that's a pro and a con. And obviously, if you are looking to get investors, the BRRRR strategy is, it makes a lot of sense for them, right? Like what it does is it shows them where your value is coming in. You can say, well, listen, I'm managing a renovation, I'm refinancing, I'm finding the property, I'm finding the tenants, I'm doing all this work. And that's where you're showing your value to them. And, to go pitch that to an investor, I mean, to me, it's a no-brainer. If somebody's pitching that to me, I mean, I get majority of my money back, making 100% in a year, that's an easy one. With a flip, let's talk flip now. All right, so, I mean, at the end of the day, you got $45,000 after tax. If you do 2 of those a year, you got $90,000 to $100,000 after tax. And, if the market is like it is today, like if you had bought in March and you'd flipped it by now, you had made probably just 10%, 20% appreciation just from March till now. I mean, that's buying smart in COVID. Yet, even if you didn't, you're still getting that 10%. So the property goes up 5%. So it's giving you that. You have money in your pocket right now. You can go ahead and do whatever you want with that. I don't know if you guys have watched the Jeff Cohen video that I did before, but I mean, he basically does 2 flips and keeps 1, and the flips pay for his one that he keeps. So, I mean, again, you have profit. Now, I guess some of the cons is you don't own that asset anymore. You basically have a job. You need to keep flipping in order to keep making revenue. With a BRRRR, that revenue will keep incurring because you're letting the market do the work. You have a renter who's paying down your mortgage for you. You can take that money out tax-free later by doing a refinance. Obviously, it's tax deferred. It's not tax-free. And by the way, I'm not an accountant, so go seek financial advice from a registered accountant. Again, flip. One of the cons is you don't own the asset anymore. Obviously, the pro is you probably don't have to bring in outside money, or if you do, you can get private money. You can get 8 to 15% private money on that, and it's a lot cheaper than joint venturing. So I guess what it comes down to and which way you're going to go is it's going to depend on your strategy. I know when I started, I did a lot of flips. And when I look back at what those properties are worth now and where that could be, I mean, those properties have all, I don't know, quadrupled in value. No, I wouldn't say that. Doubled, at least maybe tripled in value since the time. And the market was just doing the work. It had nothing to do with my forced appreciation. And yet you look at it and say, okay, if I didn't flip those properties, would I have had the money to do to live and to grow, and would I have gained as much experience? Would I have been able to grow as quickly? Probably not, right? So it's one of those things where you got to look at what your goal is and what you're looking to do. A lot of people out there, they go to the internet and they ask all these questions. And I mean, the internet's a great spot to get information, and it's a great place to get ideas, and it's a great place for a lot of things. You need to personally sit down and create your strategy. What is your goal at the end of the day? And this is, so you can have pros and cons of BRRRRs and flips, yet at the end of the day, it comes down to your strategy. If you have, this great job that you love, and you want to do flipping, you're just getting yourself another job. Whereas you do BRRRRs, you can afford maybe to hire that outside contractor because you're doing that value add, and maybe you don't need all the money out. You don't need 100% of the money out of the property. That's a nice thing to do, yet, if you have 5 to 10% left in the property, that's still a great deal for you buying a property 5% down overall, right? I mean, again, so it comes down to what you're doing and what you need and where you want to go. Honestly, go sit down with a real estate coach, sit down with your husband or wife or whoever and create that plan. Create that plan about your financial freedom. I mean, reading Tony Robbins' book again is just one of those things where are you going? What level of financial freedom and how are you going to get there? And if that's the goal, maybe the goal is to retire in 30 years. There's so many different strategies out there to grow your wealth. It's just focusing and making it happen is most people's challenge. All right. Well, thanks everybody. Thanks for subscribing. Thanks for sharing this on social media. Really do appreciate it. Goal is to get to 1,000 by the end of September. Really do appreciate it. Have a great day. See you in the next one.